the first team up. We see the ladies on screen, Valeria and Anna. Valeria on the left and Anna on the right. They just started practicing together and getting ready for this event just a couple of months ago. So it's their first big event together. Let's see how they start. They're showing us a back 1.5 somersault, half twist. Overall, two very good individual dives. Anna on the right side, you see it here. She's a little bit lower than Valeria and gets in the water earlier. But overall, very good individual dives, and that is a booster for the scores. This was nearly perfect. All it was missing was the same strength of the platform in the jump. 8 in synchro, 7.5 individually, and 46.20 for them. Next up is Team Germany, back dive pike for Elena and Christina Wassen. Oh, very nice. Very nice. They do jump exactly at the same height and get in the water pretty much at the same exact second. The arm movement, oh yeah, this was very, very nice. Beautiful dive by the Germans. Both divers get a very clean entry. Nicely done by the sisters. 48 points for them. Now Team Romania, back dive pike for them as well. I remind you that first two round of dives have a degree of difficulty of 2.0. We'll see easier dives, but in this case, a big mistake for Team Romania. On the right side, we have Nazanin going way too far over. You see it here, our legs just keep on falling over. Also our teammate Joanna just lands short, so huge mistake for them. 6 and 4 individually, 6.5. Sorry, it's the opposite. It was Joanna who went over and Nazanin a little bit short. So a low scoring dive, 33 points for Team Romania. Maya Biginelli and Elettra Neroni now on the platform. Same dive for Team Italy. Well executed, same as the Romanians before them, but not as bad. Also, in this case, one of the two divers, in this case on the left side of the screen right now, Maya Biginelli, ends up being quite too far over. We see it here, almost in a pike position, slightly piked when getting in the water. Not as bad as the Romanian, as you saw in video, but lower scores from the judges. 6, 7 from the judges, 41-40, and they are 6.4 points behind Team Germany that is leading. Macy Bond and Juliette John, same dive for them. very good in timing off the platform and in the air. Juliet, though, on the right side, now from this view you cannot see it, but from the side view you can see how she never extended her body here. She kept on, she kept that pike position, never got completely straight. Very, very heavy entry in the water. That's strange. She kept on rolling, but 6th and 7th, and they get at 40.20 points. Ksenia Bailo and Sofia Esman, another back dive pike in this first round. All the teams except for Spain are using the back dive pike in the first 2 rounds of dives. Spain is the only team that competes the back 2.5 somersault pike. Nicely done, a very good timing in this synchro dive. Strong jump by both divers. They are the same height pretty much. And clean entry for Ksenia. Sofia gets a lot of splashes, unfortunately for her, but overall a good execution. Again, another dive where one of the 2 divers just doesn't get completely straight. In this case, it was on the right side of the screen right now, Sofia Esman. Total of 42 points for them on this dive. Next up, Team France. Team France wasn't competing in this event last year, where we see them doing a front dive pike with very good entries, just different distance from the platform by the 2 divers. I was saying how it is important for Team France to having a team competing, 2 divers competing in this event, because in just a bit more than a year, Team France already has a spot in the Olympic Games. In all 4 synchro events, the hosting country gets a free spot in the synchronized event. So good job by France building up a team in order to compete at the home Olympic Games next year. It was a good front dive pike for Team France, 45.60, and they're in 3rd place right now. Last dive of first round, reverse dive pike for Team Greece with Stavroula and Ioanna. Another very young team, just 16 and 14 years old, these 2 divers. And it's a good dive individually. They do okay with the timing. They jump off the platform together, but it was way too far from the platform. Ioanna's dive on the left side. She's not just ahead of time in the water, but also way too far. You see it here, how far further out from the platform she is getting in the water. So that drops the score. A couple of points deducted there because of that mistake in synchro. So 6.5 and 7 individually. 7th in synchro there, 41.40. And we have the rankings now on screen. Germany in first, 48 points. Antolino, Pacheco, and Carvajal from Spain in second at 46.20. Yeah, and the French team, Gilles Halifax, in 3rd place. And we have Team Spain now on the platform, reverse dive pike. Beautiful dive by the Spanish divers. Perfect timing off the platform. The distance from the platform is pretty much the same, and look at that, they hit the water exactly at the same time. A very good job by Team Spain on this dive. very good. Probably the line in the entry by Anna should have been a little bit straighter, but overall very well executed individually and in synchro. We saw the teammates and the coaches celebrating that dive. 8 and 8.5 in synchro, 47-40. Excellent job by Team Spain. Reverse dive pike for the German sisters also. They were leading with 48 points after the first round of dives. See if they can do better than Team Spain. And they do, if not better, it is exactly the same kind of execution. Great jump. Probably they are just, they have sharper movement in the air. They, let's say, look better, and also the alignment, the line in the water is better, so definitely better than Spain. 8 and 8.5, even a 9 in synchro that counts. So excellent execution of the reverse dive pike by Team Germany, 98-40. Team Romania now. Same dive for them, reverse dive pike, and we'll see the first 6 teams of this final in this round competing this dive, and then just France and Greece at the end will compete the back dive pike. Not too bad in the timing of the platform. The jump is together. Both dives are not perfect in the air. The 2 ladies move their arms at different time, and also on the right side, Jonna is ahead in the water. The entries could have been cleaner, but overall, not too bad, but definitely could have been much better, as we saw from the Germans right before. So a total of 39 points for them and 72 total after 2 dives. Now Team Italy, same dive once again. They were in 5th place after the first dive. And once again is Maya Biginelli who over-rotates on this dive, and she's a tiny bit ahead of time, but that doesn't bother the judges as much as the pike position getting in the water. She should have kept her hands on her thighs while falling. Instead of, she has her hands above her head way too early and keeps on rotating. So 40.20, and they're at 81.60 right now. Team Great Britain, Macy Bond and Juliette John. Let's see if in these reverse dive pike, Juliette can get all the way straight, because the previous dive, the back dive pike, was way too piked in the entry. And better, but once again the same tendency in the entry by Juliette. Not completely straight, but a good jump there, perfectly together. On the left side, Macy gets a cleaner entry. Overall, an average dive for them. You see it here again, how on the right side, Juliette doesn't get her hips completely extended. So lose a couple of points there from the judges. 7 and 7.5 for them, and they are at 83.40 right now. Team Ukraine, Ksenia and Sofia were in 4th place after the first dive. And they do an excellent job here. Very good timing, slightly different distance from the platform for the 2 divers. Ksenia on the right and Sofia on the left right now. It seemed to me live that Xenia was not much, but slightly, further away. Overall, a great dive for them. 7.5 from the judges, and a total of 44.40 on this dive, and 87 total. They're in third place. Team France now. With a back dive pike. And they end up getting in the water together, but definitely different timing of the platform. Starting from the squat when they were pressing down squat, here they did it at different times, so they took off a different speed. Then here they get back together. They're just that Emily Halifax is way too far over in a pike position when getting in the water, and that's why the scores drop on this dive. They are a total of 84 points after 2 rounds of dives. Last required dive. So last dive that has a 2.0 degree of difficulty set by rule. And Team Greece does a good job overall with their dive. It's not very explosive off the platform. Neither one of the two divers had the best jump, but they managed to get in the water together. Individually, they could have done a better job. Both divers end up a little bit too far over to get high scores on their individual dive. So a total of 39 points. They're at 80 points. 80 points for them after 2 dives. 80.40. And now we have the standings after 2 rounds of dives. 98 points for Germany, 93 for Spain, and 87 for Ukraine. But all the other teams are not too far back. And here is the first optional dive. Optional dive means the degree of difficulty is the exact same degree of difficulty that is on the table of the dives. Instead of being set by rule at 2.0, they can use whatever dive they want. Forward 3.5 somersault pike for Team Spain right now. Nicely done. A good job, and we see some excitement by Team Spain. A little different speed in the somersault, but overall both divers get good entries, different distance from the board. And also the worst part of this dive is that Anna is short and Valeria is over, but they're clean and still get a good average dive. Good dive overall, yeah. And Valeria pointed out to the coaches how she slightly went over. 6 and 5.5, 7th in synchro. Not too bad. 58 points for Team Spain on their first optional. Inward 3.5 somersault tuck. For Team Germany now, they were leading after 2 rounds of dives. And not the best takeoff ever for Team Germany. I gotta say, we see at least both divers did the same mistake. They went too fast towards their legs to get in a tuck position, so they were falling very fast. Both individual dives are quite short. Luckily for them, both did the same mistake. So They didn't compromise the synchro, but since the individual dives weren't great, also the synchro scores aren't too high. 5.5 and individually, and 6.5, 7 in synchro. So Team Germany could have done a bit better with that, considering they are one of the teams that is not here to play around, but definitely aiming for gold tonight. Inward 2.5 somersault pike for Team Romania now. Very good synchro. In this case, the two divers end up being one slightly short and one slightly over. So probably a couple of points deducted there from the judges. You see how the splashes go different ways. With great entries on by both divers, this dive could have scored very high. Unfortunately, they missed just the last part. See how they got 7th, even if the entries weren't good. Imagine if they would have gotten 7.5 and 8 individually with great entries. The synchro scores would have gone way up. 125 points though for them. Now we have Team Italy, a forward 3.5 somersault pike for Maya and Elettra. You see Elettra counting. Very good somersaulting. In the air, they are exactly in the same position and spinning at the same speed. Unfortunately, it is, for both divers, not fast enough to get completely vertical. They get in the water very short and still in a pike position. So not too high the scores, both individual and the synchro scores. 5.5, 5 and 6 individually, and 6, 6.5 in synchronization. 135.60 for Italy. Now, same dive for Team Great Britain. And kind of the same mistake by the British, same as the Italians. They also are not as similar in the air while somersaulting. You see it here how they're at different timing. They have different timings here in the somersault. And both divers quite too short. And exactly as I said, they do score less than Italy on this dive. 53.10 points, 136.50. They're just 1 point ahead of Team Italy after this dive, and they're very close together. Let's see now what Team Ukraine does with their inward 2.5 somersault pike. So 3 teams have the same list: Germany, Italy, and Great Britain. The harder list here today. Oh, and nice dive by Team Ukraine. They're gonna get a very good average from the judges here. Excellent job somersaulting pretty much the same speed. You see here, Xenia comes out of the pike position earlier before Sofia, but other than that, it was very well executed individually and in synchro. They're gonna get ahead of Great Britain and Italy. Inter plays just 3 points behind Spain. A very good job by the Ukrainians. Team France now, the same dive. By Team France. First of all, they took off at different distance from the from the platform. They spin at complete different speed, and you see here Jade goes way too far over, excuse me about that. So yeah, not a high scoring dive. 35-28 for them. 119 at the moment. They're in last place. Forward 2.5 somersault pike for Team Greece. And a very easy dive, just a 2.3 degree of difficulty. You see Petros, the coach of Team Greece. The dive was very easy. The timing in the somersault on the come out is right. Just problem with this dive is that Joanna just ends up being way too far over, especially on such an easy dive. Very low degree of difficulty. So a total of 40.02 points for them. 120, and they're in 7th place ahead of France right now. And after 3 rounds of dives, the first round of optionals, we have these standings on screen right in a second, right now. Team Germany 158.88, Team Spain 152.10, and Team Ukraine 149.16. 2 more rounds to go. 2 more optional dives for each of the teams competing. And we have Team Spain right now back 2.5 somersault pike. And a mistake here by Valeria Antolino. The synchronization was very good. You see the advices from the coach. The top part was very good, very high. Valeria just comes out too loose in her core, and her legs drop. You see here how they drop backward. Very short for Valeria. Anna does a great job. And low scoring dive for the Spanish divers, 46.98 on this dive, 199.08. For Team Spain, 199 points for them after 4 dives. They had an advantage on the 4th team, that was Team Great Britain. They had, what is it, 14 points, 16 points advantage, but they might lose it here. Forward 3.5 somersault pike for Team Germany, that was in the lead. And I don't want to say anything right now. I don't want to jinx it for anyone. I'm not going to tell you what I think about this dive. It is good. I think that it's great. I don't want to say where they'll land in the rankings before the judges give the scores. Don't want to jinx it to anyone. Straight 7th for Team Germany, 63 points. I wanted to say this was the higher scoring dive so far, and indeed it was. 63 points for Team Germany. So now we have Team Romania, forward 2.5 somersault pike with a full twist. And it was very nice in synchro. Very, very good synchronization all the way until the last meter before getting in the water. See, all the movements were exactly the same, but on the further away from the camera, Joanna just misses the entry by a lot, way too far over. This dive isn't going to score many points. 43.50 for Team Romania, 169 points for them. And now we have Team Italy on the platform, inward 3.5 somersault tuck for Maya and Elettra. And another mistake for Italy. First of all, the timing was good in the somersault, but different distance from the platform, and both divers just go way too far over on the entry. This is also probably not going to score very high for Team Italy. Yes, 4s, 4.5, a couple of 5s from the judges. Just individually, they did not a great job, and both of them go way too far over. Just 43 points, 178.80 for Team Italy. And now we have Team Great Britain, same dive, inward 3.5 somersault tuck. I want to remind you that Juliette John, on the right side of the screen, she's not even 14 yet, already competing at extremely difficult list of a big mistake by Maisie Bond, completely misses the timing of the come out, and she's max on her stomach. Luckily, she got out of the water by herself. It seems like she's okay. She's behind the platforms and springboards. You saw how early she came out before the third somersault and gets completely flat on her stomach. She's standing though. We see her on screen right now. She seems fine, smiling. She's with the doctor. They're smiling. Luckily, these things are, and everyone is clapping for her. These things are shocking, I gotta tell you. Luckily, she got, and we see her sitting down and relaxing a little bit. And this was a failed dive for Team Great Britain. So they stay at 136.50, and now is while we watch Team Ukraine, I was saying how it is time to make a decision for Team Great Britain. Sometimes at this point, after such a big mistake and a shocking dive, they could just decide to not complete the competition. But we'll see. We'll see how Maisie will feel after the end of this round. Back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist for Team Ukraine. And a good synchronization for Team Ukraine. Just individually, Sofia ends up going too far over, 5.5 for her individual dive. 7th are the scores from the other judges, both individual for Xenia and for the synchronization. 213.48 for Team Ukraine. And now Team France. Reverse 2.5 somersault tuck for Team France. And a great job. And I gotta say, Jede Gillet, we have seen her compete this dive 3 times already. This is the 4th time on the right side. And for 3 times earlier this week, she landed very, very short. Team event, individual prelims, and final individual. And finally, she gets an incredible entry on her reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. 6s individually for both divers, and 6.5 in synchro, 171.36 for them. They're in 5th. Team Greece now. Team Greece inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Another very easy dive for the young team from Greece. 2.5 degree of difficulty. Nicely done. Once again, just like the forward 2.5 somersault before, the entries could have been better, especially by Joanna on the left side here. She comes out a bit late and over-rotates these inward 2.5 somersault tuck. Other than that, good average scores. A 5 for her Joanna's individual dive, 6.5 for her teammate, 6.5 and 7s in synchro, 47.21. 47.25 points. And now we have the standings after 4 rounds of dives. And I can tell you, while you see on screen the standings, I can tell you that Maisie Bond is standing and smiling on deck, seems ready to go for her last dive. And I can tell you she's hugging her teammate. You see it below on the screen right now. On the corner of the pool, you can see Team Great Britain. They're ready, getting ready for their last dive. But also Team Spain is ready for their last dive. Inward 3.5 somersault tuck. They were in 3rd place. Let's see the fight for a medal here. There's Team Spain at 199. They have 21 points advantage on Team Italy in 4th. Let's see how they do though. Last round of dives. And pretty good dive. We see Team Spain celebrating. Domenico Rinaldi and Arturo Miranda cheering for the 2 Spanish divers from Madrid. Anna is just a little bit ahead of Valeria getting in the tuck, but she waits enough to get vertical. Not great entries, but I think this is good enough to set the bar for what is needed to be on the podium, and maybe even more. 7s, 5.5, 6.5 in synchro, 7 and 5.5 individually. Big hug for the 2 ladies from Madrid. 62.40 on this dive. 261.48 is what Team Germany, who has been leading throughout the whole competition. They're at 221 right now. They need 40 points, less than 40 points, 39.60. And they get much more than that. We can already tell you that these are the new European champions, and this time I'm not afraid of saying that. Excellent execution of the back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist, perfectly together throughout the whole dive. And this is the best dive of the day so far in this event, 75.84. 297.72. Now on the platform, Team Romania, forward 2.5 somersault pike. 2.3 degree of difficulty. The synchronization is good, and once again, one of the 2 that we see, their coach just shaking her head, disappointed. It's a very easy dive, and Joanna just comes out extremely late and lets the legs go too far over. The entry is not very clean. 6.5 in synchro and a 5 individual for Joanna. They close at 211.35 right now in 4th place. Team Italy now. Team Italy needs 9 on their back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist in order to get ahead of Team Spain. 8.5s and 9s. Their best dive by far in this event. A little bit off here on the takeoff. Maya is ahead of time, or Elettra is a little bit late. They do a better job getting in the water, but overall, yeah, definitely above average. They're just a little bit off in synchro. We saw also in the summer, so it's not perfectly together. 7 and 6 individual scores, and 7 and 7.5 in synchro. It is their best dive, and Italy closes at 2:45.04. In third place at the moment. Now we have Maisie Bond. You can see her on the left side, smiling here, and Juliette. They are doing a back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. And a great dive by the British divers. It is incredible how strong mentally Maisie has been today. Unbelievable. I gotta say, tip of the hat to her for getting back up on the 10-meter platform and perform such an amazing dive. Excellent individual dive for her. The synchro was good. 7th up. I thought the dives were better than that individually, but excellent that she did just recover right away and got back up there and performed a good dive. Fortunately for Team Great Britain, without the score of the previous dive, they end up at 198. If not, I can tell you they definitely had a chance to get on the podium. They are 63 points behind Spain, and they definitely had a chance. Forward 3.5 somersault pike for Team Ukraine, who needed 9.5 for gold, but probably not going to get that, and only 5.5 for silver medal, and they will get that. Awesome synchronization. Well, not awesome, but pretty good performance in synchro. Synchronization was very good. Individually 6.5 from the judges, not too bad, and they are in second place at 274.68. 13 points ahead of Spain. And now Team France on the platform, back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist for Team France. Team France was in 5th place before this dive. And synchro was good up until the very last part of the dive. Emily on the left side, she never picks up any speed when coming out of the platform here. She's not, you can see how further back in the somersault she is in the pike compared to her teammate, and she lands just way too short. 3.5 individually for her, 6.5 for Jade Gillet, her teammate, and 5.5 in synchro. Team France closes at 221.28. And now the last dive of this final is Team Greece, back 2.5 somersault, half twist, pike. It was a good synchro, but both divers are way too short on this dive. They both land still a bit in a pike position, do not extend their bodies all the way getting in the water, so probably not a very high scoring dive. And yeah, so we have the score now 4.5 and 5 in individual execution, and 6, 6 and 5.5 in synchro. Team Greece closes at 209.79 in 7th place, ahead of just Team Britain. Well, this was an interesting event. I don't want to call it exciting, but definitely interesting. We've seen a lot of things. And first of all, I want to congratulate Team Germany for the gold medal, Ukraine in 2nd, and Spain in 3rd. But most of all, I want to congratulate Maisie Bond for having the courage, after failing completely a dive on 10-meter platform, showing us the courage to get back up on the